isn't solo traveling dangerous?
Especially as a solo female traveler, aren't you scared? It's false to believe that everything is gonna go perfectly and swimmingly, and that's okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Lee.
And I'm Paula, and we are
the Solo Soul Sisters.
Alright, so you're thinking about travel. You're thinking about backpacking, you're thinking about digital nomadism, all this super, super exciting stuff. And you're ready to perhaps take that next step, head out the door once coronavirus ends. But sometimes we see travel through rose-tinted glasses. Especially when you just follow social media and you're following all these content creators that are depicting all of these magical, beautiful lives, you know, like travel is so pretty, it's so beautiful, and don't get us wrong, there's so many great sides to travel, but it's also really important to be conscious of the fact that things will go wrong. As they do in life in general, and the fact that life isn't perfect. So in this video, we just want to shed a little bit of light about the fact that travel isn't always pretty.
So when you're solo traveling, you don't know who to trust, and that can be either locals or travelers alike. And in my case, I have a little story about it, where I had trusted one local person to create a tour for me and my friend, but in the end, he was just trying to rip us off and also rip off the family, the local family that we were visiting. And when we were able to figure all that out, it became a huge issue. So you'd never really know who to trust, and it's kind of up to your instincts.
It's definitely important to become self-reliant, and self-reliance in general is something that you will learn, and it's something to be cognizant of the more you travel. You are the one that's
responsible for everything.
Responsible and in control of everything that's not in control, because there's a lot of things that can happen that you aren't in control of.
Another bad thing about travel is you have to learn a lot about the rules, the customs, the regulations, like all of these things that are very specific to each country, and you have to make sure that you follow them so that, well, one, you don't get into trouble with the authorities, which would always be a bad thing, and two, you don't want to disrespect the local cultures. So there's just a lot of information to take in, and to take the time to be cognizant of all of them, I think, is only a slight drawback, because you have to take time to prepare.
It's just important to do a little bit of research, because at the end of the day, you're not going to know all of these rules and customs and regulations. Traveling can be an overload on the senses. And not to mention, because of the fact that you're constantly changing environments, this can have an effect on both your mind and your body. And in different weathers, I found that, for instance, my skin was breaking out a lot more. And for me personally, that was something that ended up impacting my mental health. And this is just all these things where, like, I was in these incredibly beautiful environments. What could have been wrong? But, like, mentally, I wasn't as happy as I wish I was, and that just was on the factor of the fact that A, I was pushing myself and reached a level of burnout, and B, mental health related to acne. I mean, it's a real thing, as we know, and it definitely impacted me.
I want to talk about loneliness, and that is definitely a bad aspect of travel, because if you're solo traveling and you don't know other people around you, and you're not as outgoing, or you don't have the courage to speak to people, then it can get really lonely. Even if you do sometimes enjoy your own company.
Yeah, I mean, you could be witnessing this beautiful sunrise and this beautiful sunset, but in that exact moment that you're witnessing it, it could just be you.
And sometimes you just want to have company to share an experience with, and that makes it that much better.
I think that's also just human a little bit, about just wanting that connection and having that person there. Advice I got from somebody once is just don't assume that people think like you. And that, I think, was really, really good advice. Because it's something that I unconsciously do, and I'll, like, project it that certain situations will pan out a certain way, and that's the point of this talk and the conversation that we're having, is don't think like that. Have your wits, be conscious, be smart, be wary. Actually, I just want to point out that I've met so many solo guys traveling, period, and at certain points it almost started to frustrate me, because I was like, women can solo travel just as easily and just as well as solo men. Yes, at certain times be wary and be conscious of your surroundings, but annoying though.
It is a reality that there are more male solo travelers than there are females, and especially in certain areas. It is unfortunate that these are issues that females have to go through and be aware of, but as this is reality, we have to prepare ourselves and educate ourselves in order to make the best of our solo travels. Another scary part of travel is homophobia, and that's related to the last topic of just being who you are and your sexuality, your gender, all of that. A lot of countries are homophobic and are either indirect and discreet about it, or they will be in your face and violent, and it's even against the law in some countries. So you do have to be careful when you travel to some places. Just make sure that if you're going to certain places, that you can show your affection openly and not potentially get thrown in jail or hurt by people who are locals. We need to be aware of the situations so that we can make sure our travels go smoothly.
It's difficult and tricky that you might have to base your decision at the moment of going somewhere around what is the situation like in that country, what will my presence there do by being there, because you are a foreigner there, you are not a local. What will my presence be like and what will it do?
Another scary and bad side of travel is xenophobia. In some places there are more negative sentiments towards people not of the same race or ethnicity, and that's just something we want you to be cognizant of. So if you're traveling in a place where you don't look like a local, then we just want you to be aware of that. We just want you to know that you're going to get people looking at you, that you're going to have people who are interested in you, people who are scared, people who just have different emotions towards you.
When you're traveling, I think that your emotions can get amplified, because I can easily say that I had some of the best moments in my life, and I also had, saying the worst is very harsh, but I had very terrible moments where I thought the ground was caving in and I was being swallowed up, you know, by like everything, and just, you know, I thought the sky was falling, you know, like I genuinely did think the sky was falling. And I think part of that... No, I was not, you know, but the point of that, okay, not that, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Don't do, but I mean,
yeah.
No, you asked my train of thought. No, I think that when you're in a foreign place and you don't know anyone, I think that emotions in general can get amplified, because you are self-reliant, like we've said earlier in the video. So because of that, just everything is 10 times what it might be at home, you know? Like I feel happy, I feel even happier, like, you know, like I feel sad, yeah, we know how I feel.
Amazing, joyful, content,
yeah.
superb.
Yeah, I've made my point, I think.
Yeah. Just because there are bad and scary sides of travel doesn't mean that you shouldn't travel. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're having this YouTube channel. We're not here to tell you not to travel. Yeah. We're here to encourage you, and we're here to educate you about these points. And that's why we have this video. It's like, we want you to know and be aware of things.
Sure that you might be thinking, oh my god, I literally never, if I was worried about traveling before, right now you've literally reaffirmed all my worries and I'm never heading out the door.
Let's just say that it took everything in us to not say the opposite of every single point we just said, because we want you to travel. We are saying all these bad and scary things, and And for almost all of them, we had something positive to say. And like,
but that's not the point of this video right now, because we want you to just be conscious of there are bad things. It's not all rosy and rainbows and puppies and butterflies.
If you get educated, like by watching this video, you're in a great position to do and experience and see so much greatness in your travels.
So that's it. Hope that this has been helpful and educational, and thank you so much for watching.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Do you want me to do the whole conclusion? Just watch. Thanks for tuning into our video. We hope it was helpful and educational. And then you would say, or I would say, if you want to support us, please hit the like button and subscribe down below. Or subscribe, period. And then the person can say, our social media should be floating around at the bottom of this video, so check it out while you wait for our next one. And then the other person says, until next time, bye!
Bye!